Okay, my break is half done, and I've sat around in my minivan for, about 15 minutes or so now, and I've been thinking to myself, what am I going to say? What am I going to say for my video today? Because today is an important video. I know I've done videos in the past where I'm holding this goofy LED lantern in the back of my minivan. I don't know if it gives enough light on the subject so that the truth in my eyes can be seen or not, but I want to say with truth in my eyes, happy Memorial Day to all the veterans of the United States of America and all our allies. Especially you, Dad. Thanks a lot. My dad, I'm very proud to say he's a veteran of the Vietnam War, and a lot of what I do with my life hinges on that fact. One of the things that I want to do in my life is shed some light on the subject of how many homeless American veterans there are in America. You know, being a veteran, being a soldier, is a life of extreme, extreme sacrifice, hardships, and definitely not getting what you want all the time. And a lot of times, those prices and those sacrifices are more than people can deal with, and sometimes they end up not being where they want to be. I don't think that anybody really chooses to be homeless. Maybe some people do, and maybe I will choose to be homeless someday as well. But I'm hoping that if there are homeless people out there that don't want to be homeless, that here in America, the light of the world, people will, be willing to help those people. That's kind of what I'm hoping Memorial Day is all about, is that helping a veteran out. So hug a veteran today. Now, even though it is a new day and it is Memorial Day, I'm kind of in a selfish pity pot mode today, and that is something that I will not admit very often. I am not getting what I want, and usually that's all right because I think that's a character defining experience. Not getting everything you want is good, but I really, really wanted a, a couple years of quality time with my grandmother in my home for me to forge a lifetime of memories with her. Because grandma's not going to be around forever. I'm not going to be around forever either, but I really wanted, her and I to make some memories together. And even though her memory is kind of fading, like this lantern, it is fading slowly, the light. She is remembering these new memories that we are making. There is no doubt about that. So it's not like I'm just wasting my effort, and I can crank up the juice and make things brighter. And it's very hard for me not to want to crank up the juice and try and try and try to make more light on the situation. But things happen for a reason, and Grandma's going to spend 2 weeks away from us in that home, and that's going to be hard for me to deal with, and it makes me very unhappy. But right now, there's a young man who is 16 years of age, and he is very unhappy as well. Now, I'm very, very fond of this young 16-year-old man because he pretty much is the reason why I'm forbidden to carry video cameras on the property of my workplace. I've been writing today while I've been working about some of the greatest teachers that I've had in my life, and one of them is a newspaper columnist, and the other one is a 16-year-old boy who was born blind. And the greatest lesson that he's taught me, and this is probably one of the most important lessons that every human being needs to learn, is that every human being in the world sees the world at a different light, in a different light, in a different way, in their own unique perspective. And it's hard to find a more true example of that when you talk to a blind person who has never seen the world at all. My grandma sees the world in a different way than I do. They're similar but they're definitely different. And my family sees the world in a different way, and that's kind of the whole point of this problem, is that everybody sees the world in a different way. And what we need to do is take all our views and find out which is the best for grandma. And it's very hard for me to not try to crank up the juice and add some more light to the situation. That's something that I'm good at, is never giving up hope. So all my young friend wants to be happy, my 16-year-old friend right now, is to ring a bell. If he could ring a bell, he'd be the happiest guy in the world. He'd be, the guy that just won the lotto. And but it's very important to realize that you don't always get what you want, and being able to deal with that is very important. And I'm struggling. I'm struggling with how to deal with, saying goodbye to grandma. It's not the easiest thing in the world for me. And it's going to take some time. And luckily, everybody's got time. And I think it's time to close my eyes and just relax a minute before I go back to work.